Good morning, everybody. Matt Modi here to give you my favorite MLB home run predictions for today. We're talking Saturday, May 31st. Happy Saturday, everybody. The Dong Report is back in your life, whether that's a good or bad thing. It is unfortunately true. I'm spraying the board once again today with our home run picks. So I'm going to have 8 for you guys to lock in. Again, small unit size on these because we're playing them heavily in terms of the number of plays that we have. So definitely don't go crazy with your unit size. 0.1 units on each of these guys. Just want to be very upfront about that. Now, we do have to do a recap from yesterday. Now, there's good news and bad news when it comes to yesterday. The bad news is what you see on your screen here is all red. I could not get a single guy of these 8 to hit a home run. Brutal. I went chalk with most of them. I mean, look at these all in the 300s. None of them hit a home run. Just absolutely brutal. That's the bad news. The good news is dongs were flying yesterday. It was a huge day in terms of home runs. Now, I did not get any of those guys to hit a home run, which absolutely sucked, but at least guys were hitting home runs. And it was a very frustrating day. There were guys that I looked at that I didn't go with because either they weren't hot at the plate, like the two athletics guys, Soderstrom and Langeliers. I looked at and said, these guys aren't really hitting the ball hard because they had a good pitching matchup, but they weren't hitting the ball hard, so I avoided them. They both hit home runs. There were 2 guys that were hitting the ball hard that had tough matchups in James Wood and Cal Raleigh that I decided to avoid. They both hit home runs. And then you look at guys like Suzuki and Tucker, were both mashing the ball, had a tough matchup, no home runs. Acuna mashed the crap out of the baseball. It just had too low of a launch angle. Corbin Carroll, Ketel Marte both had good matchups. Carroll didn't really do anything. And then Marte hit the ball hard. Again, just couldn't really put anything in the air. Nothing great from either of these last 3 as well. Devers, Duran, and Cruz. So, yeah, it sucked. It really sucked. That brings our losses on the year down to about 1.48 units of loss. I don't know what is breaking this formula here, but I can tell you if you just put 1 unit on every single home run play, you're slightly in the red. So I'm not going to hide behind that at all. You're slightly in the red, down a little bit less than a unit if you just put 1 unit on everything with a negative ROI. It's been terrible. There's no other way around it. It's been very bad. So if you guys have been doing no home run parlays on every pick that I gave out, you're probably rich. Now I remain confident that we're going to turn this thing around because there are guys like Cal Raleigh. I went with him 2 days ago. Didn't mean to go to the screen. You can now see my first play. But Cal Raleigh, I went with him 2 days ago. Didn't hit a home run. Hit one yesterday. And that's been the case. Like the guys that I'm targeting just aren't hitting them on the nights that I'm targeting them. It's just been a rut that I've just been incapable of getting out of. I'm confident that we will eventually. But yeah, it's not been fun. It's not been fun. Let's get into today. That's enough complaining. That's never fun for anybody. Would appreciate it if you could like the video, comment, subscribe. Listen, if you could watch till the end and just fade every pick that I give out, you're making money and you're still supporting me, and that's great for everybody. So today, again, I'm going to have 8 for you guys, and I'm going right back to the 2 guys on the Arizona Diamondbacks. I'm going with Corbin Carroll to hit a home run, and I'm going with Ketel Marte to hit a home run. The biggest thing for them is they're going up against this guy, Michael Soroka, who gets absolutely destroyed by left-handed hitters. And Ketel Marte is a switch hitter. He'll be batting lefty. Corbin Carroll obviously is a lefty. So you go to Michael Soroka. You look at him. This is looking at plate IQ. Over the last 30 days against lefties, 8% barrel rate, 8.3% barrel rate is not terrible. That in and of itself is not a bad number. He's somewhat of a ground ball pitcher, 50% ground ball rate. Now, the fly ball rate of 30% isn't terrible, but he gets hit really hard. 44% hard hit rate to lefties, and that number is higher against righties. They're just a much higher ground ball rate. But the ISO rate in the WOBA allowed to lefties is very bad. And the biggest issue for him is his four-seam fastball. You look at his pitch mix to lefties. He throws the four-seamer about 45% of the time. It gets absolutely tattooed. 240 ISO rate, 401 WOBA. Is very bad. In the next, honestly, the next 3 pitches, slider, changeup, slurve, all get hit really hard. Now, the slider, small hard hit rate, but when people do make contact, they nuke it, and then the changeup gets smoked. And you look at the guys on the Diamondbacks, it's very similar to yesterday. The 2 guys that have the highest barrel rate against righties over the last 30 days, Ketel Marte, Corbin Carroll. Now, Corbin Carroll does a great job also putting the ball in the air, 38% fly ball rate. Marte is a little bit different. He hits more into the ground, which obviously is not what we're looking for. But Marte also doesn't strike out 13% strikeout rate, and he still has these incredible at-bat numbers. I mean, 73% hard hit rate with never striking out is very, very impressive. Now, he's missed some time, so it's not like he's been playing every day for the last 30 days, but that's still really good. You look at ISO rate over the last month for Ketel Marte, 434, leads the Diamondbacks. Number 2, Corbin Carroll, 290, second on Diamondbacks. He does strike out a little bit more, but both these guys destroy four-seam fastballs. I mean, look at that. Number 1 and number 2 in terms of barrel rate. Number 2 and number 3 in terms of hard hit rate. Eugenio Suarez also destroys four-seam fastballs, but we wanted to target a lefty here. And then that fly ball rate, 60% for Corbin Carroll, 38% for Ketel Marte. And look at that ground ball rate for both of them, 10% and 15%. So neither of them came through yesterday. That doesn't scare me off one bit because they have another really good pitching matchup. And Corbin Carroll's coming off of a day where he just hit a home run. Ketel Marte's hitting the crap out of the baseball. So I feel good about going back to both of them. That's plays number 1 and 2. To give you the odds, which I should have done first, Corbin Carroll is at a pretty gross plus 340, admittedly. If you use Profit X, you can get him at plus 420, which is obviously much better. And then Ketel Marte, my dogs say hello, is a very good plus 500 at Bet365. So you're able to get him at a pretty decent price there. I mean, that's way too high. He should not be plus 500 at Bet365. No idea what my dogs are freaking out about. Hopefully that means we're going to have a good dong day. My wife will figure it out. But that's play number 1 and 2. Corbin Carroll, Ketel Marte. Now for play number 3, we're going to stick in the same game. And we're going to go with somebody who might be the hottest batter at the plate in baseball. We're going to go with James Wood to hit a home run. Now I know we just hit a home run yesterday. He's at plus 475 odds at Bet365, Fanatics, and ESPN Bet. Now I know James Wood just hit a home run yesterday. I get it. I don't very much care because what he's been doing to the baseball is insane. You look at FanGraphs here, looking at his average exit velocity over the last week, 101.6 miles per hour, 41% barrel rate, 75% hard hit rate, 50% fly ball rate. Now, I looked at Wood yesterday. I didn't like the matchup, so I avoided it. That was a mistake. He hit a home run yesterday. He only had one hard hit. That one hard hit was sent to the absolute moon. And one stat that I've been playing around with, I don't know the validity of it yet, but as nerdy as I can get with the stats, I will. There's a stat that looks at blast. It's per Baseball Savant. Now, the definition for a blast is longer than I care to explain, longer than it doesn't really matter from your perspective. All you really know is a blast is when a batter squares up the ball and does so with high bat speed. So they basically barrel the ball up while also swinging the bat very, very fast. That's a good sign for home runs. And you look at James Wood. He's got 10. He is one of, I don't know what's going on up there. They're going to be fine. He's one of 17 batters with 10 blasts over the last, I'm looking at just the last week, the last 7 days. And his average bat speed is in the top 10. That's a pretty good sign. Like, obviously those two are correlated, but not always. I mean, you look at Joe Adell's number 1 in bat speed, 6 in blasts. Jordan Walker has 6 blasts, right? Kyle Schwarber, 8. When you go down the list and you see not everybody is at the top here, but you look at the guys at the top in terms of like bat speed and stuff, some good names in terms of bat speed and some good names in terms of total blasts over the last week. So James Wood being top 10, top 15 in both categories is a good sign. And again, he's just been destroying the baseball. I mean, you look at his EV logs over the last couple games, it's absolutely insane. I mean, one hard hit yesterday, 106 miles per hour off the bat, 400 feet. You look at 109 EV, 112 EV, 106, 109. It's crazy what he's been doing to the baseball. So I feel good about going back to James Wood. And he's got a very good matchup as well. Brandon Pfaadt gets smoked by left-handed hitters. You look at him on the year, 20% barrel rate over the last 30 days to left-handed hitters. And that K rate, 18%, that's not good. If you're not striking guys out and you're letting them barrel the ball up a lot, that's very, very bad. Now, his ISO rate is low, but everything else is high. Hard hit rate. The ground ball rate, 40%, is admittedly a little bit high, but it's not terrible. 60% of the time, guys are hitting a fly ball or a line drive. And again, James Wood has just been destroying the baseball. I mean, his barrel rate, 20% over the last 30 days to righties. His ISO rate over the last 30 days to righties. 269, that's actually not incredible, but his last 2 weeks is really when he's been red hot. So I feel good about going back to James Wood. That is play number 3. Again, that's at 475 at a couple books, but we'll price it at Bet365 because they actually don't limit me. That's play number 3. Play number 4 is another guy that we went with yesterday. And you're going to notice a theme. I'm trying to stick with guys. And we're going with Ronald Acuna Jr. to hit a home run. He is best offered at plus 400 odds at Actually, no, 425. It was 400, went up to 425 at ESPN Bet. Now, the thing with Ronald Acuna Jr. is if you look at his game logs yesterday, destroyed the baseball. Now, the launch angle was not high on any of them, so that's why he didn't really even come close to hitting a home run. But you look at his exit velo yesterday, 101.8, 106.1, 99.9. That's 2 hits above 100, one at 99.9 miles an hour. And you look at the other guy that's been destroying the baseball over the last 7 days, that would be one Ronald Acuna Jr. 100 mile per hour EV over the last week. And that launch angle is high, 20.4 degree launch angle is very, very good. Now, the matchup he's going up against is interesting. He's going up against Walker Buehler. Now, Buehler's barely pitched over the last 30 days, which is why you see kind of like some wonky numbers for the last 30 days. On the season, he's gotten hit pretty hard by righties, like his barrel rate, 12% to righties. ISO rate is slightly in the red against righties, and he does strike a little bit more out. So that is the case. But Acuna's been destroying the baseball since he came back. I mean, you look at his like barrel rate. Again, it's a small sample size for him because he just came back. 36%, 80% hard hit rate. And he's putting the ball in the air at a pretty decent rate as well. Like that ground ball rate of 65% is not terrible. He's striking out a lot. That's fine. That means he's swinging for the fences. So I feel good about going back to Ronald Acuna. I like the price. And if you believe in Weather Edge, this is a very good game for home runs. Plus 50% home run differential for home runs if you believe in Weather Edge, which makes sense. The wind's blowing out to left field, so that's going to help balls in the outfield. And it's also going to help a right-handed hitter like Ronald Acuna Jr. So that's play number 4. Play number 5 and 6, 2 guys on the Braves, 2 guys that we also went with yesterday, Jarren Duran, and I always say his name wrong, Jarren Duran and Rafael Devers. They both did not come through for us yesterday. They both are pretty hot at the plate, and they both have an excellent matchup against Spencer Schwellenbach. Now, Schwellenbach was awesome last year, which I believe was his rookie year. This year, he's really, really struggled against left-handed hitters. You look at him on the year, 241 ISO rate to lefties on the year. Last 30 days, 281. That's bad. Barrel rate allowed to lefties on the season, 9.6%. That's bad. Over the last 30 days, 10.2%. That's bad. Now, the fly ball and the ground ball rate, the fly ball rate's a little bit low. Ground ball rate's a little bit high from what you're looking for. So that is one negative for this one. But other than that, he gets smoked by left-handed hitters. And Jarren Duran has been hitting the ball very, very hard. Like if you look at raw hard hit numbers, I guess it went down a little bit because he didn't have any yesterday, but he's got 12 over the last 7 days. He is one of 12 batters with 12. You look at balls put in the air. He has, I guess these went down a little bit from yesterday, but he's got 7 over the last week. That's not amazing. This number was higher, but he didn't hit any yesterday. So in the one from 8 days ago made it go down a little bit. But if you go back to this StatCast number, he is up there in terms of bat speed and number of blasts. He's got 12 blasts over the last week. That's very good. And his bat speed is in the top, 75.8. Yeah, top 15. So he's one of those guys that's in the top 15 in both categories. So that's a good sign for him. Again, neither of them really did much at the plate yesterday. Like if you look at the box score, Duran had 0 hard hits and Devers had 1. And I believe the one Devers hit was smoked. He just didn't have the launch angle, -4 degrees, but it was 111 miles an hour. But I'm not necessarily scared off of Jarren Duran not having any yesterday because you look at his game log over the last week and we see, I mean, a consistent hard hit, 3, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2. And then, 0 yesterday, that's fine. Not a good day. Has another great matchup today. So I feel good about going right back to him. Rafael Devers, to give you guys the odds here, Devers is best offered at plus 350 at FanDuel, and Jarren Duran is at plus 600 also at FanDuel. So both best offered price, both of them are at FanDuel for both of them. That's plays number, 5 and 6, I believe. Plays number 7 and 8 are also both in the same game. I'm going with Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and I'm going with George Springer. I am taking both of them to hit a home run. They are both priced pretty decently. They're going up against Gunnar Hoglund, aka the Hog. Vlad is actually at a better price. He's not plus 400. He is Vlad is plus 425 at Bet365, and Springer is 520 at FanDuel. So you're getting a pretty decent price on both of them to hit a home run. And the thing with the Hog is he's got electric stuff. He also gets hit really, really hard. You look at him, again, last 30 days and on the current season. Barrel rate allowed to righties, 15.4%. I guess the last 30 days is also his entire season. That's bad. ISO rate allowed to righties, 261. That's bad. WOBA, 420. Sick number, not great for that number. It's very high. K percentage, 15%. So kind of similar to what we've talked about. He's not striking anybody out, and he's getting hit incredibly hard. Hard hit rate, above 50%. Normally, the guys, like you see pitchers with a high strikeout rate also have high percentage numbers. It's bad when both of them are also bad. Bad when both are bad. That's just how language works. And you look at Vlad, he comes up in a lot of different metrics you look at. Number of blasts over the last week. Number one, tied with Suzuki, is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And I believe he's also top 10 in bat speed as well. He is 7th fastest bat speed and the most blasts over the last week. Number of hard hits over the last week. Guess who's number one? Vlad with 15. Number of barrels over the last week. Guess who's tied for number one? Vlad with 6. Tied with 2 other guys with 6. You want to look at number of hard hit line drive plus fly balls. He's one of 7 or so batters with 9 or more. Hitting the ball very, very hard. Has got an excellent matchup as well against the guy, the Hog, who has a low ground ball rate. I mean, I guess 40% against righties isn't terrible. 39% overall is not terrible, but Vlad has been hitting the crap out of the baseball. I mean, he's always been a guy, high hard hit rate, high barrel rate, but you look at him last 30 days against righties, 15% barrel rate. You look at the other guy we're going with, George Springer, 19% barrel rate, leads the Blue Jays. Now he's tied with Dalton Varsho, but still, that's pretty good. Now, neither of them, or I guess Springer strikes out a little bit. Vlad does not. So his per at-bat numbers, percentage numbers being as high as they are, that's good for him. Springer does strike out a little bit more. 24% is a little bit high. But he's also been hitting the crap out of the baseball. You go back to the hard hit line drive plus fly balls. Guess who's tied with Vlad with 9? That would be George Springer. And he's tied with some good names. I mean, Vlad, Suzuki, Schwarber, Cal Raleigh, all of them have 9, as do Springer and Vlad. And one thing I want to show you about with Springer is if you go to him yesterday, high scoring game, he did not hit a home run yesterday. But you look at his hit distance, he had 2 that were hit 390 feet. Both of them, I mean, should have been home runs. They were both hit to center field, but 103 off the bat, 104 off the bat, perfect. No notes. 23-degree launch angle, 32-degree launch angle, perfect. No notes. 390 feet for both. One of those should have left the stadium, or should have cleared a fence, I should say. Neither of them did. But that continues a pretty hot stretch that George Springer is on. And Vlad only had the 1 hard hit yesterday, 97 miles an hour, 29-degree launch angle. That's also somewhat picture perfect. If you got that ball a little bit harder, hit the ball a little bit harder, that would have been out. But 364 feet is not terrible. So yeah, I like both of them. I like both of their matchups against the Hog. And I believe the pitch mix as well, as the last thing I'll mention here. What gets hit really, really hard by the Hog? I mean, a lot of his pitches. I mean, four-seam fastball, sweeper, and sinker all have a pretty brutally bad ISO rate. But that biggest thing is the four-seam fastball. 66.7% hard hit rate. Now, his called strike plus whiff rate is higher on his four-seamer than it is overall, so that's not terrible. 35% for that isn't terrible. But 2/3 of the time, guys are hitting that ball very, very hard. And you look at four-seam fastballs, Vlad, number 1 on the Blue Jays, 25%. Springer is okay, 11% barrel rate. So that was the walk rate, excuse me, barrel rate. Springer, Springer very good at 20%. Vlad also very good at 18%. And the strikeout rate, again, Springer strikes out a decent amount. Vlad does not. So 2 very good numbers for both of them for this. And that'll round out our 7th and 8th pick for the video. So we're rolling with 8 guys today. If we go 0 for 8 2 days in a row, I might have to just take a month off, go on vacation, clear my mind, see what happens. But all we need is 2 of these guys to hit a home run to profit. Even if it's Corbin Carroll and Rafael Devers, 2 of our lowest guys in terms of odds to hit home runs, if they both do, we will make money. Any combination of two, make money. And that's all we got. So it's James Wood. We'll real quick do a recap, and then we'll get out of here. James Wood, 475, bet 365. Vlad, 425, bet 365. Devers and Duran, both on FanDuel, plus 350 for Devers, 600 for Duran. Acuna, plus, this actually went to plus 425, but I'm only going to track it at what it was sent out at to my Tails account, because that's only fair. 400 ESPN bet. Springer, 520 FanDuel. Carroll, plus 340 FanDuel, and then Ketel Marte, plus 475. Bet 365, that actually went up to 500. So you're able to get a little bit of a better price there. Everything first sent out to my Tails account to give you guys proof of that. This is where everything gets sent out. This is where everything is tracked. And then the last thing I'll mention is there were a couple guys that showed up on this very, very new elementary stat I've been looking at, where like they're top 10, top 15 in blast and bat speed. It's Junior Caminero, who's actually top 10 in both. He's one of 8 guys with 11 or more blasts over the last week, and his bat speed, 76.4, is number 8. That's very good combination for Junior Caminero. The reason why I didn't go with him is because he's going up against a lefty, and he doesn't hit lefties that hard, and the odds plus 420 didn't offer a lot of value. So if he hits a home run, I'm going to be very upset. O'Neal Cruz is a guy I went with yesterday. He's also got pretty good numbers. I mean, 10 blasts. He's one of 15, 17 guys with 10 blasts, but his bat speed is number 2. The thing with Cruz, I kind of feel like his hot streak is over. He was hot for like up until recently, and I kind of worry that that streak is ending. So that's why I didn't go with him. And then the other guy, in terms of blasts, that I wanted to mention was Cam Smith, one of 8 guys with 11. He's got a decent matchup against Zach Littell. His bat speed isn't amazing. I mean, it's in like it's top 50. Cam Smith's bat speed, it's 39, so top 40. He comes up in a couple numbers that you look at, like number of hard hits over the last week. Cam Smith is one of 12 guys with 12. And in terms of, he's one of maybe 15 to 20 batters that has 8 hard hit line drive plus fly balls. So if Cam Smith, Junior Caminero, or O'Neal Cruz, if one of those 3 hit a home run, I know that I will be cursed. That's just how things work. But that's all we got. The last thing I'll say is if you wanted my favorite 3, it's Ketel Marte, George Springer, and James Wood. I'm not doing anything unique with those 3. I'm putting 10.10 units on each, all that stuff. And that's all we got. I appreciate everybody for watching. I'm sorry that it's been the worst 6 weeks of my life and your life if you've been tailing me. Let's hope that we can turn this thing around. Make sure to bet responsibly, and have a good one.